All right, what is up, everybody? Thank you very much for tuning in. Let's get straight into the video. And today we're going to talk about selling solutions and the most important part when it comes to selling solutions. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Adiki, founder of O-Scale. And in a nutshell, I simply help customers get more leads, make more sales, keep more customers, and save a ton of time. And in today's video, we're going to focus on the key, the number one, the only thing that you need to focus on when selling solutions. Now, I've been in business for over a long time now, 2 decades, and I have worked in middle management to senior leadership roles across a variety of different sectors. So when it comes to having sales conversations around a variety of different products and services, I have had my very fair share of conversations, whether it comes down to professional services, the products of renewable energy, or even services such as food and beverage. I have been there, done that. Capital funds raising, venture capital, done that before. Financial services, done that before. Outsourcing and running the business on the smell of an oily rag, done that before. So in terms of credibility, I hope that meets the standard when it comes to talking about where I've come from and a little bit about my background. But again, like I said, we're going to focus on the key point around sales and the most important thing when it comes to sales. Now, when we hear the word sales, I guess the part that comes to mind for a lot of people is it's a dirty word. Let's move away from that word and stop saying sales and more so talk about how we're going to help a customer get a particular product that you're offering that's going to add value back to them, and it's going to help enrich some of the things that they do in their life. So this is essentially what we're talking about here. We're not talking about that old car sales adage where you feel lied and misled, or that door knocker that every time they knock on your door, you know you're going to have to try and pull out your credit card or try and get them off, or that phone call that you get from a number that you don't even know and you know it's going to be a telemarketer. So we're not talking about that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about real life skills when it comes to having conversations with people about services and products that you offer that is adding value to their life. All right. A thing that's a little bit different to what I'd normally do is I've taken a little bit of notes, which is just up on this screen here, and it's going to save me from winging the video, or even worse, scripting the video and sounding like a robot. So let's get straight into things and talk about why businesses fail when it comes to sales. Can you remember the last time that you jumped onto a website and you're looking at a product, or trying to actually firstly understand what it is that the company offers? You jump on and everything seems so confusing. You start clicking on a few different things and you can't navigate your way around. Now, what do you do in this particular instance? You'll probably hit back and exit the page, or you might even just close your browser and lock your phone because you're not interested in trying to pursue something that's so confusing. This is why clarity is the number one thing that's important when it comes to sales. And you're going to see as we unroll this particular dialogue and this conversation, how clarity weaves into so many aspects around the sales process. Not even just the sales process, but an entire business for those ones that are really clued in. So if someone can't come onto your website and understand firstly what it is that you do, why it matters to them, and secondly, how it's going to make their life better, again, how you're going to add value to them, what's the point of having that website up and running? The same thing can be said when you go to a particular shop front. If you go to a shop front and you look into the store, you walk in, you can't firstly find your way around the store. You know there's products in the store, but it looks so unorganized that you don't even know where to start and where to finish. You just end up turning around and walking out of that store. And for that reason, key point number one is making sure that clarity around the products and services that you offer is most important, and one of the things that you see at the forefront of your particular business. Now, here's an action point for you. I want you to jump onto your website and firstly take a quick look. If you can't determine what that business does or what your business does in the first 10 seconds, that entire website needs a complete overhaul, and it's time to get started right now. So here's one piece of value that we can take away from this particular this particular video. Let's talk about where entrepreneurs mess up the most. Let's say that you're a business owner. You have a particular service that you offer or a product that you offer to the market. That product is so well researched that you've spent hours and hours on end. You know everything in terms of detail, inside out for that particular product. But the problem is that you're the only one that knows that, and your customer doesn't know that. So when it comes to your particular product, your particular service, as an entrepreneur, I would firstly expect you to know that product or that service inside out. It would make complete sense to you. And I expect that as a consumer. But I also expect as a consumer for you to be able to explain that to me. Sometimes we have an over amount of information. We have so much details and we're so passionate and there's so much energy about why that particular product or that particular service is important. Yet we lack the ability to be able to communicate these particular things effectively. And I've got a killer example for you when it comes to the end, in the next section, okay? So I want to take you through that. And then for that reason, lesson number 2 again is, quite ironically, the same lesson as lesson number 1, is clarity is important, but not just the ability to be able to visually see, but how well can you communicate the value of your product and services. And here's action point number 2. If you could go onto your website or have a look at your particular checkout page where your product or service is it clear what I'm getting for the value exchange that I'm giving? Now, when it comes to conversations, I like to keep it really simple. The framework is really, really easy. It's problem and solution. When we're having conversations around the problem side of things and the solution is as simple as, okay, well, this is how we fix it, there's no confusion in my mind as to whether this particular product is for me or not. So action number 2 is jump on your website, have a look at your offers page. Is it clear that I know what the value exchange is that's happening as I'm purchasing this product? All right, we are breezing through things really quickly and I'm having a quick look at the timer. We are flying through things. Okay, the simple question I want to ask: how does clarity boost your sales? It's a question that most business owners might ask is when you're in a space where, okay, I get it, Ariki, you've got to scale your business, and in order to do that, I need to get clear on the message that I'm selling, my product, my websites need to be involved. But exactly how is that going to boost my sales? Well, the simple answer to that is really simple. If we have clarity in the product that you offer, it builds trust faster. If you build trust faster, it leads to less objections or less concerns. And if you have less concerns, you're able to make a faster decision on whether you want to purchase. Those are 3 real quick points as to how clarity helps the sales of your products and conversion rates go up. Now, I wanted to talk about a little quick example that I mentioned earlier. But before we do that, action point number 3 is really simple. So when it comes to having a sales conversations, I want you to go and review your scripts. Are your scripts really simple enough for you to understand, firstly, what the problem is that's being solved, and secondly, having the solution available for that particular problem? If you haven't done an analysis on your market to understand what the problems are that need to be solved within that particular niche, then there's a lot of work that you need to do and the gap is quite big. I'm not saying that because I want you to book a call with me, but I'm saying that because I simply know that you need to understand your market quite thoroughly in order to be able to solve some of the problems in that particular space. So action number 3 is really simple. Understand whether the problems within your scripts and your sales are being addressed and whether the solutions are being matched. All right, let's move across to story time. Story time is really simple. I had a conversation with somebody, and this is one of probably the biggest mistakes that I've made in sales, particularly, actually, it's not a mistake that I've made in sales. It's a mistake almost in every business that I've started that I've made right at the beginning. And I go through that stage where I have sales conversations. I talk about some of the products and services that we offer. But then I also get to a space where I'm like, you're doing it wrong. You should be doing this key thing. So if I would have a sales conversation, actually, I did have a sales conversation with somebody. They called me up and they said, hey, Baron, hey, Ariki, I had some problems that I have in my business. Can you help me with this, this, and this? And I said I could, but it was a real estate agent that sold property and they had lots of stock available. And they, in essence, the problem they wanted to solve is they wanted to move a whole lot of stock. And I said to them, if I were to say to you, AI technology that helps you get more sales, automatically qualifies and books appointments for you, what would you say to that? Is that something that you've looked at before? And I mentioned chatbots in there as well when it came to AI. And the answer I got back was really simple. It's not so interested in chatbots, but really interested in hearing about these AI agents that do all the phone calls for you. So in my stupidity, when I went and had a conversation to further follow up this with this real estate agent, or this property developer rather, we ended up speaking about the technology, the phone call features. I ended up creating a bot that would do all the phone calls that was mirrored off their business. I got them to phone call that particular bot, and they loved how cool it sounded, and that was as far as it went. And the problem that I realized that I had is that I spent so long selling all these cool features about the particular service that I failed to have a conversation about the true problems that needed to be solved for that particular business owner. See, at the heart of that particular business owner's problems was actually the fact that they just needed to move as much stock as possible, and they had invested so much money into training up salespeople that would just leave, teaching new products and skills to new people that wouldn't last long in the business. So they thought, you know what we're going to do is we're going to go out and we're going to get as much aggregate partners or referral partners as possible, and they can do all the selling for us. Now, I spent so long focusing on the features and benefits and how cool I thought this service was, because I could see the benefits of it, that I failed to connect the dots for that particular business owner. And the dots were simple. The dots were, you wouldn't need any referral partners because this particular service can do everything for you. Let's think about some examples for a moment. When we think about companies like Apple, the greatest iPhone in the world, but I had made my message completely confused because I had spoken about all these different features and they were really, really cool. It was a really shiny object, but it actually didn't have that emotional connection. So if I could refine my sales pitch, and the problem and the solution that I offer would be something as simple as a solution that helps you get more sales, and it just so happens to be backed by AI, that would be really, really simple. Or all the problems that I listen to, rather than going, here's this really cool bot, here's this really cool this, here's this really cool that, and plus it speaks another language if you wanted to, and it'll reference this and it'll reference that. I threw so many features and benefits at them that I actually never address the original problem, which was their inability to get as many sales as they wanted. So that was key lesson number 4 that I took away from my sales conversations. Ladies and gentlemen, it has reached that time in the business, in the phone call. Sorry, it's not even a phone call. In the video where we are done. So thank you very much for listening. If you're keen on getting more updates around AI, maybe learning a little bit more about how we can automate and scale business, let us know. Book in the link below. It's really, really simple and it's obligation free. If you also wanted to get access to free stuff, because everyone likes free stuff, I'll pop a few links to some free stuff below. Free thing number 1 is really simple. It is an AI prompt library. And in essence, what you can do with this library is you can pretty much build an entire business off it. You can build AI agents that will go out and do all your research. You can build marketing AI agents that will come and write up all your marketing plans, schedule all your email campaigns, take care of all your creative, sales bots that can do all your appointment settings. So the only thing you need to do is worry about waking up and looking at your calendar, because all the appointments will be booked. Delivery bots that will take care of all your onboarding, all your customer service emails, your customer service phone calls. The application is huge. You know what? I'm only going to drop that particular one. It's the AI prompt library in there, and the link will be somewhere in the description below. But thank you very much for listening. If you like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe and also drop a like for this video as well. See you later.